Hi, everybody. It is December the 13th, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, and this is our monthly series of webinars on how to get the most out of your SendOutCards account, how to be able to use all of the features and the potential of your SendOutCards system to reach out to prospects, vendors, referral partners, customers, and family and build those really strong connections with them. My name is Donna Sylvester. I'm an executive in the Denver area. And normally on the line with me for these webinars is Brenda Sanchez, who's an executive with SendOutCards in Colorado Springs. Brenda is not on tonight. She has a family member in the hospital, and so I'm going to take the helm and run the webinar for tonight. What we want to talk about tonight is the SendOutCards CRM system. So hold tight for just a minute while I pull up the PowerPoint and get that on the screen for you. So a CRM, often people ask me what that means. So that might be a new set of initials for some of you, but CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management or Contact Relationship Management. And this is what the CRM looks like for many small businesses. It's just a series of sticky notes on your calendar or on your desk or on a bulletin board or your refrigerator. And it's these sticky notes that remind you who it is you need to call and what decisions are pending for a particular person that you're working with. And that's probably a reasonable way to get started, but it's certainly not the highest level of organization if you want your business to grow. One of the real benefits of SendOutCards is that it offers a very simple, easy to use, but effective CRM. There are a lot of CRMs out there today. ACT is one that's often used in the business world. In the real estate world, there is Top Producer. In another really big one, very expensive and complicated, is Salesforce. So there are many large, complicated, and expensive CRMs. SendOutCards CRM is a great option, especially for smaller businesses. So what we're talking about is all of the technologies and strategies that help you track and manage relationships. It's a way to organize all the notes you have about conversations, when you reached out to them, the decisions that were discussed at that particular conversation, the next step you need to take, and the history of the relationship. And the people that you would want to include in these contact relationship management systems are your customers, prospects, referral partners, anybody in your sphere of influence that you really want to build a relationship and a connection with for your business. The overall goal is to have you be organized. And as you are organized, you will be more responsive, you'll improve your customer's experience, and you will increase your conversion rate from prospect to customers while you strengthen the retention of the people that you currently have. So that's kind of what we're talking about with a contact management system. I'm going to now shift from the PowerPoint over to my SendOutCards account, and I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about how to set the contact record up to get the most out of that. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about how to use card history and the search functions to find and work with the various things that you might need to do in managing that relationship. So I'm going to go to my SendOutCards account, and I'm going to pull up adding a new contact, and we'll just work through that contact record. So under main menu, new contact, I'm going to click there. And I'm just going to work down through this contact record with you. So the first thing you'll notice is that there's the option to send a campaign. Campaigns are cards you have that you've selected the card, you've created the message on the inside, the card's ready to go, and you want to pull that campaign card up. It's something that you do over and over again, like thank you to someone for looking into your business, or thanks to someone for deciding to work with you, or thank you to someone for a referral. So you can send those campaigns right from the contact record for one of your individual clients. The first thing we're going to do is put a first and last name in here, and I'm going to make a pretend record here, and I'm going to put my first name and my last name here. Now, when you put a first and last name here, they become the primary contact for you. So if you're dealing with a couple, maybe the wife is your primary contact, that's whose name you would put in the first and last name field. And then there's a field down lower in the record where you would enter the spouse's name. I don't typically use this to track email addresses and phone numbers. I track those elsewhere. But if you're a small business owner, maybe brand new, and you need a system to track phone numbers and email addresses, you can certainly put them in here. What I use this mostly for is the mailing addresses that I use. So I'm going to put in 999 Any Street, and I'm going to put Aurora, Colorado, 80014. So I have my address in, and then it takes me to a section where I can add phone numbers. So track phone numbers if you'd like, but here's a little tip that will be helpful to you. You can use this fax number field for information about that contact. For example, one of the things that I put in there is where I met someone. So I might put met at Action Partners E&I. So I put where I met somebody or who referred them, little tidbits of information that will help me identify this contact easily. I always put a birthday in. So I'm just going to make this easy, I'm going to put January the 1st. And you can put the year in if you'd like to. You don't have to have the year in. And then we have a field for anniversaries. And this can be used for a variety of different things. You could put the anniversary, you could certainly put a wedding anniversary here, or you could put the anniversary of a sale or the anniversary of someone's promotion on your team. The way Brenda does this is when she's putting in a couple, a married couple, she'll use one record to put the wedding anniversary, and she'll use the other person's record to put the anniversary of an event, like when they joined her team or when they promoted. I'm going to come on down now to the spouse field, and here is where you can enter the spouse or a partner of someone who is a primary contact. So if I put in, I'm going to make up a name here, and I'm going to put Bob. If I put Bob here, and that's all I put, the system assumes Bob's name is my name as well. So it would assume Bob's last name is Sylvester. If Bob is not, doesn't share the same last name as me, then you would put that person's last name, so it might be Bob Smith. Now, Bob Smith will be listed as the spouse in my record, and he will have a record of his own. What's nice about that is during the holidays, you might send a card to me and to Bob, but throughout the year, there might be occasions when you'd want to send Bob a card that you don't send to me, like a birthday card or a congratulatory card or even a sympathy card that you would want to send just to Bob. So having said that, it's very easy to personalize the inside of the card. So we have a mail merge feature that will allow you to insert a first name and spouse name on the card that you're creating, and then the inside of the card would read, Merry Christmas, Donna and Bob. But the challenge is the outside of the envelope only has whatever you have in the first name field. So in this case, if you were sending a holiday card to Donna and Bob, the envelope would be addressed to Donna Sylvester. The inside of the card might say Donna and Bob. There are some people for whom that's an adequate solution. I'm one of those people. I know that most people, the mail comes into the house, they take it out of the envelope and share it with their spouse without having the envelope present. So I pay more attention to personalizing the inside of the card, and I just let the outside of the card have the one name on it. But there are people for whom it's really important to manage the outside of the card or the outside of the envelope. And I'm going to show you a couple of different strategies for how you can do that. So the first strategy is the one I mentioned, which is you just don't worry about it and you let the card be addressed to the primary contact. The second one is that you can change the address on the card once you've sent the card. So I'm going to go over from main menu to card history. Well, let me save this. I guess I better save this one. So I'm going to save that record. I'm going to go over to main menu to card history, and I'm going to search on the cards I've sent today. And so there are 3. So if I wanted to change how this is addressed, like Gail Ezzo is a good example. Her husband's name is Michael. So I'm going to go in and view or edit that card. And I'm going to work through the system. This is a happy birthday card to Gail, so I wouldn't normally put her husband's name on it. I'm going to go hit continue. Well, that didn't allow me to do that. So I think maybe that works with campaign cards and not one-at-a-time cards. So I'll have to reconsider that. The other way to do it is a fairly new way as well, but I've experimented with this, so I know this one works. I'm going to go look up my record. So I'm going to go back and look up Donna. And I've got 2 records in there, but here's an example of how the information in the facts field shows up. So I know that this second record is the one I just created because it says that I met Donna at the Action Partners. So I'm going to view that record. And here is another solution to making sure both names are on the envelope. So I'm going to go down in that record all the way down to children, and I'm going to add a child. And I'm going to call that child the Sylvester family. What that's going to do is it will create a third record in the system. So I'll have a record for Donna, a record for Bob Smith, and a record for the Sylvester family. So I'm going to create that third record. And then when I send holiday cards, I would know to pull up and send the card to the Sylvester family. So while I'm in here, I want to show you a couple more things about the individual contact record. One is this action log. I can click here and see any cards that I've sent to this contact. Now, this is a new contact, so there's nothing there. But if this were somebody I'd been sending cards to over time, every card that I'd ever sent that person would be listed there. And I could open that card and see what it contains. The other thing at the bottom of the record is all of these groups. I would recommend that before you begin adding contacts, that you create groups. And groups are groups of people that you think you would send a card to that group. So you might have a group of business referral partners. You might have a group of clients. You might have a group of prospects. And then if you were creating a holiday card, you might send a different holiday card to your business referral partners than you do to your clients. So that's the purpose of groups. And when you're creating the contact record, you just select which group that person is going to go into. So I'm going to put this record into my 2017 Christmas group. And then the last part of the contact record are these notes. So this is the place where you can track the conversations you have with someone. So you could add notes about discussed, decision to purchase a personal bundle. We'll do that in January. So now I've got a record of the conversation that I had with this person. And if I want to remind myself to contact that person in January, I can put a date down here. And I could say, well, I want to reach out to that person again on January the 8th. So I can put a date there, and I'll get a reminder to contact Donna in January about the decision to purchase a personal bundle. So I'm going to save this record. And that pretty much is the ins and outs of how to set the contact record up correctly. And if you want to know any more about how to manage the outside of the envelope, I would say give me a call on that. And by that time, I will have figured out what went wrong in trying to change the address on the envelope from card history. So what I want to talk about a little bit now is the search functions. So this is how you might search for a contact in your record. So you could go to main menu, find a contact, and it pulls up this search page. And you can search on this page for people by their first name, last name. You could search by city. So let's say you were doing an event and you wanted to invite all the people from your contact database that lived in Littleton. You could search by the city. The thing I use it most often for is searching for birthdays. So if I'm going to do my January birthday cards, I just put January, and I come down to the bottom and say find contacts, and it pulls up all of the January birthdays that I have in my system. There are 30 of them. And so you can search by birth month and by anniversary months as well from that particular screen. I'm going to go back to that screen and come all the way down to the bottom, and this is how you pull the members of a group up. So you would, if you wanted to see who you sent Thanksgiving cards to, for example, I could clear group selection and check 2017 Thanksgiving, and I can find the contacts in that group. And right now, there were just 4. That was kind of a demo group, so there are just 4 people in there right now. So it would pull up all the people in this group. If I wanted to send a card to all the people in the group, I leave them checked just as they are now. I go up to campaigns. I select the campaign I want to send to. So maybe I want to send a Christmas card to all those 4 people I sent Thanksgiving cards to. I pick the Christmas campaign, and I would say send campaign to checked. Now, I know from doing this earlier that I need to add postage to my system. So it tells me that sending this campaign would be 12 points and $1.96 in postage. And I would need to go add more postage to my account in order to send that campaign. So I'm going to close that. And I'm going to also show you, let's see here, I'm going to pull up this Sip Coffee group. And what I want you to see is that this screen, this Find Contact screen, gives you the ability to do quite a few group actions. So if I wanted to take all 4 of these people and add them to another group, I would click on Groups. I would select the group that I want to add them to. Maybe I want to add those 4 people to my 2017 Christmas group. And I would just say Add to Group, and the site would add all 4 of those people to the Christmas group. So I can send campaigns. I can group delete. So if I had all of my contacts pulled up and there were some that I wanted to delete, I can do that from this screen as well. So that's pretty much the basics of how to search. Now, the other place that you might search and you take a number of actions is card history. So I'm going to go to main menu, card history, and you can search. If I just click search here, it will pull up the cards that I've sent today. I can search by a date range by just changing the start date. So I'm going to go back to, let's say December the 7th. And I'm going to search and pull up all the cards that I've sent since December the 7th. So probably one of the most helpful things I learned is how to use the, how to search in a long list for a particular name. So let's say I wanted to know whether I sent a card to Al. To do that by doing Control F. And down at the bottom of my screen, do you see where it says type here to search? So I'm going to type Al's name. I don't know how I got into that. That is definitely not what I wanted. So there it is, Control F, up at the top where it says search. I'm going to put Al's name, and it highlights any AL in the group, so that wasn't a good choice, but here is Al Julch. So there's the card that I sent to Al. And if I wanted to look at that card, I could view that card. And what I want to point out to you is I sent Al a Christmas card. He lives in my building. Let's say that I wanted to send that card again to someone. I could come all the way down. This is a new feature in the system, and click right here where it says send card. And it will open that card for me to edit it and change the address that I want to send it to. So this is a great screen for looking at the cards that you've sent. And if it's a card that you'd like to send again, you can send it from this screen. Now I'm going to go back to that screen. This is also an important screen. Let's say you've put your card list together. I'm going to go and search for cards that I sent today. So I'm going to go card history, and I'm going to search for cards I sent today. Let's say I've decided I don't really want to send this card, this birthday card, to my cousin. If I want to cancel that card, I would just put a check mark there and hit cancel the selected card. It would cancel that card, and it would add 3 points and 49 cents in postage back to my account. Or let's say I decided I wanted to add a gift to the card and I haven't done that. I could click view or edit card, and it would let me go and add a gift to that card. So under normal circumstances, you can change what you've done with a card anytime up until midnight of the date that you create it. During the month of December, we have such a high volume that they pull cards off the queue more regularly than that. So what I would say is, in December, if you're going to modify what you've done to a card, you need to do that right away. You need to do cards in smaller batches so that you can make whatever changes you want to make to them right away. Now, the other thing that this card history is good for is tracking gifts. So occasionally I'll call somebody to say, hey, did you get those brownies I sent you? And they say, well, gosh, no, I never got any brownies. And so I go look them up. And when you send a gift, it shows up as a hyperlink. So Nico, on the 8th of December, I sent Nico a thank you card with a gift. And if Nico said that he didn't get those brownies, I would just click on that hyperlink, and it takes me right to the USPS tracking system that lets me know that his gift was delivered or will be delivered by 8 o'clock today. So it actually says it was delivered at 11:49 this morning to his mailbox. So I've had several instances where when I did this, I found that it was delivered to the front desk. And when I told the person that, they were able to go to the front desk, and sure enough, the brownies were right there and ready to go for them. Now, the last thing I would tell you about card history is that let's say you have a campaign set up to go out several times to a particular client over a year's period of time, and they move. You would need to go into that person's record in order to cancel the remaining cards, so that, or to change the address on them, so that we don't send campaign cards to an address where they no longer are living. And the way you would do that is you would go to their contact record, to the action log, and when you pull up the contact record of someone who has a card pending, so I'm going to pull up Gail's record here. So here's Gail's record. I'm going to view that record. I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom to action log. And I'm going to click there. And you can see I have a list of all the cards that I've sent to Gail since 2011. And this card that's to go out today is still pending. So I could either cancel that card or go in and edit that card. So be careful when you send campaigns out and you get a notification that someone's address has changed. You can't change the address in the contact record and think that it will affect campaign cards that are already set to go out. You have to actually pull that card up and either cancel it or edit the address on it. So that's the tips that I have for you about how to use the CRM. It's pretty basic for some of the people that may be listening to this that have never worked with SendOutCards before. And for some of you who have used it for a while, I hope there might have been a tip or two in there that would be helpful to you. We will do another webinar in January. I'm not sure what the topic will be, but each month throughout the next year, Brenda and I will get together and we'll do webinars on a variety of topics, from how to create cool cards, creating your custom back panel, how to work with campaigns, how to work with the mobile app. I'm thinking in January we might even do a webinar on marketing strategy and how to create a marketing system for 2018 that will generate new referrals into your business. So for tonight, I'm going to say thank you very much for attending. I'm going to stop the recording, and then I will stay on the line for anybody that has questions about what we covered tonight or anything in your SendOutCards system. I will be glad to help you with anything that you have questions about. And I think the other thing Brenda would say if she were here is that all of these webinars have been archived on YouTube in her YouTube account. So if you look up Brenda and Michael Sanchez and go to their YouTube account, you'll be able to look back at the webinars that we've done throughout 2017 on the various features of SendOutCards. So everybody have a great holiday, wonderful Christmas, great New Year's, happy Hanukkah, and we'll see you again in January.